Councillor Victoria Harvey fought her election on the fact she would never join a political group. She was very reluctant to join the in the first place.
Everyone has had the discussion.
Sorry, Chairman, I'm confused. Someone was speaking, and they allowed 3 minutes to speak. You've allowed lots of other people to speak, like the leader, but you've just cut off Councillor Shingler.
So why has the de facto agreement on procedure come to full council now? It appears to be that the leader of the council wishes to make a special case for a member who's not even in his party.
Councillor Jameson wishes to take a DMC place from the independent group and give it to Councillor Harvey.
And I therefore feel that we now need to move to Victoria's
amendment.
If I may chip in, there are 7 hands up. So I think that this is still worthy of debate, which we voted for debate, so perhaps we ought to have one.
So what Councillor Harvey and indeed some other members seem to be suggesting is that 5 people who aren't aligned are allowed 2 places, and 10 people who are aligned are allowed 2 places. Now, even my 8-year-old son can figure out, when I asked him this evening, I said, if I gave 2 footballs to 5 children, how many footballs shall I give to 10 children? He said, well that's 4 footballs, Daddy. I said, yes, absolutely, but I said, it's a real shame, Jean, that the leader of the council and a few other members of the council can't come up with the same answer. Clearly, rounding isn't always perfect, but common sense says 5 people do not get 2 places if 10 people do not will only get 2 places. I noticed on children's services, for example, I believe that the Conservatives only qualify for 6.95 but get 8 places.
In the past, I've had my knuckles rapped by various people for referring to the Independent Group and not the Independence Alliance. Could Councillor Zerny confirm to me what he is?
Oh, for goodness sake. Yeah, don't let's go down that road.
Chair, I share Councillor Matthews' view. I think Councillor Bowater's interjection is somewhat foolhardy.
I'm just looking again at the papers here. Councillor Harvey, currently on licensing, Leighton Lindsay Partnership Committee. She'd like to retain these seats, have a seat on DMC, and be a substitute on Social Care, Health and Housing Overview Scrutiny Committee. Is in a single person on the council entitled to that many seats on committees, please?
We go back to the amendment.
I believe that Councillor White asked a question when she spoke earlier, and I would very much like to hear what the answer to that question was.
I mean, the ratio is 1 point. Bear with me, for a sole member, it's 1.37. So you round it down generally to 1. So a single member is entitled to 1 seat. But bear in mind that our 5 unaligned members were 0.37s. It would not be against the rules on political proportionality if 1 or 2 of those 5 had 2 committee seats.
And the numbers don't add up for an individual person to be on 4 committees.
The monitoring officer has explained, as requested, what the amendment is.
But it doesn't make sense.
We now have to go to vote on that amendment.
For
Councillor
For
Foster,
A cat voted for you earlier. I'd like to propose an amendment, Chair.
For God's sake.
Can I advise members who keep whispering "for God's sake" and similar things that they've got their wretched microphones on? So turn your microphones off while everyone else is speaking.
So at the moment, the IN have 13 places, and they're entitled to 14 places. And just as a general point on this, I think this is probably one of the most shambolic meetings we've ever had. We're in this position because of gerrymandering. This is why officers sort this stuff out, Councillor Jameson.
Councillor Baker.
I appreciate the need to move on, Chairman, but I do have the right to the opportunity to speak, and I've had my hand up for quite some time.
Well, I think, point of order, we should move straight to the motion of the full, not the amendment, the main motion under 18.1.10.
Seconded.
And curtail this debate.
Seconded.
Chair, and I've got my hand up to vote, to talk on this amendment.
Well.
Yeah, we all want to talk on the amendments. That's why we want to talk. This is what the Constitution says. If the Conservative Party want to raise amendments, we're allowed to talk on them. If we raise amendments, we're allowed to talk on them. We're all allowed to talk on amendments. A valid amendment has been proposed. We're now all entitled to talk on that amendment. And I'm waiting patiently to talk.
And I do believe that you did give Councillor Zerny 3 minutes to speak, and then you seem to have changed your mind, Chair.
We have got Councillor Walsh's amendment on the table, which we will vote on. Come on, Chairman, take charge.
As you go along. Come on.
May I move to the vote on the main motion?
That's exactly what I was going to do, Councillor Young.
Sorry, Chair, could I propose a further amendment?
No, because I've already moved to move to the vote.
Yes, but
So that's
seconded, Councillor Young.
And it's seconded. Yeah.
After I asked to propose another amendment.
What is being proposed here breaks political proportionality rules. At the moment, the independent network do not have enough places on committees. We've also been told that the Conservative group does not wish to relinquish a place on children's services, and I can quite understand that given the struggles that they're having on that particular committee.
It wouldn't breach the law on political balance if the independent network did have 2 seats on audit.
With some small degree of respect, I would say that we were told earlier by you that 2.2 could not be rounded up to 3. So I'm not convinced that 1.19 can be rounded up to 2.
This is a shambles.
Chairman, you know, the reason they give you a gap is to stop this kind of thing.
If I may, Chair, this sounds very much just like fiddling the numbers. The earlier argument was that everyone gets a voice and we're talking about democracy, and now we're fiddling the numbers to avoid scrutiny and democracy. None of this is making any sense, and it all sounds like you're making it up as you're going along.
Wait, can I just ask a question?
No.